The purpose of this video is to show how to use the hidden fonts in Microsoft 365 or Office. Key to finding these fonts is the symbol dialog. You open the symbol dialog under the Insert tab, and then under Symbol and More Symbols. You can find fonts in three places. First, there are the fonts in the Font Settings app, which you can find by searching for font and opening it. This includes system fonts as well as fonts installed by users. It shows examples of the fonts and has them in alphabetical order. The second place that shows fonts are the font pull down in the Home tab. This pull down here includes all of the system fonts as well as cloud fonts. Cloud fonts are marked with the cloud symbol and will be downloaded when they're needed. The third place to find fonts is in the symbol dialog. This lists all of the other fonts as well as hidden cloud fonts that aren't documented. These hidden fonts are also cloud fonts and will be downloaded when they're needed. I suspect these hidden fonts come from Publisher because it doesn't hide them. The hidden cloud fonts work differently than other cloud fonts, which helps keep them hidden. This is because Word's font lists try to forget them when they're not being used. I'll give a quick overview of the dialog. The grid of characters shows all of the characters that a font contains. You can scroll through it to see them all. The bottom left shows the name of a character, and the shortcut key lists a shortcut key for the character if one's defined. Recently used symbols let you enter symbols again that obviously been recently used. The character code shows you the value for each character and can also be used to jump to specific characters quickly. The subset pull down organizes the characters by category, and that subset follows what you're looking at as your currently selected character. The dialog can be resized to show more or less parts of the font. Finally, the font pull down lets you choose fonts. You can scroll to a font, or you can find one by name. Hidden fonts and cloud fonts aren't marked specially in that list of fonts. If a font hasn't been downloaded, it will show as a generic shapes for each character. But once you use the font, you'll notice that it jumps into its new form when you add it to the document, and then when you go away and come back to the font, the full information is there and you can see what the font actually looks like. This dialog is crucial for fonts that are not alphabetic. For example, there are several mini Pix fonts that are all just graphics, and so you can go through them and find a graphic that you might want. The dialog also shows what characters look like in other languages. This one probably has, there are some characters from different languages, and then we've gone to some characters in an Eastern language. The reason that hidden fonts are special is that Word is forgetful about them. Normal fonts and regular cloud fonts will always be listed in the font pull down. This is a big advantage because you can find these fonts by opening the pull down or by using autocomplete in the file name here. Hidden fonts are dropped out of the font list as soon as the documents are all closed. This makes it easy to forget they exist. The symbol dialog lists all of them so you can find them consistently. Once you know the name of a hidden font, you can type the full name in the font pull-down to make it available. If you're designing a template, you can use the hidden font in the style sheet, which will also keep it available. I'll give example of this behavior with the hidden font able. I've just opened a blank document. You can see that able is not listed in the font list. But if I go to the symbol dialog, I've got able already selected, and I can enter a character from it, and then I can see what the characters actually look like in the font. And now if I go to the font dialog, you can see that able is listed. Now if I close out all of the Word documents and reopen it, you can see that able has been forgotten again. However, I can type in the name here. It's not going to auto-complete, but I can give the whole name, and now I'm using able as a font, and I can save this file and demonstrate another way that you can get a font in the font list. I closed out the documents again to take able out of the list, and you can see that again with this blank document. Able's missing, and then if I open the document I just saved, now able is in the font list again. It's also in the recently used fonts. A simple way to make several hidden fonts available at once is to create a document using the hidden fonts that you need and opening it before you begin working. For example, this document uses the fonts Able and Sacramento. You don't need to keep the document open as long as you don't close out Word completely. Alternatively, a template can be edited to include the fonts that you need. One part of the font selection system that I've glossed over is the recently used font list at the top of the font list. This list makes it really easy to reuse fonts. However, the symbol dialog does not add to that list. And so if I would pick a font, whether it's hidden or not, like if I just use this font Elephant, when I go back to the Home tab and look at recently used fonts, Elephant isn't added to it. However, on the other hand, if I would add a character from it by choosing the font by name and added something, now it will show up in the recently used font list. So either typing the font name by name or picking it out of this font list. Either of those are ways to get a font into the recently used font list. The recently used font list isn't global like it might be. Instead, each document has its own recently used fonts. To my best effort, this is a list of the hidden fonts. If there are hidden fonts that have been installed in my font settings, however, they won't be in this list. Some hidden fonts are pulled in at groups. For example, if you use the hidden font Oxygen, automatically Oxygen Light will also be in the font list. This is a long list with 10 pages, so I'll page through it slowly so you can pause on a page you need. I'm not confident of the status of these fonts that begin with NOTO in their name. I'm not sure whether some of them might become a normal cloud font if the relevant language pack is installed. Thank you for watching this video about how to use hidden fonts in Microsoft 365. Although all of the examples I've used are in Word, similar situations exist in the other Office desktop applications, PowerPoint, Excel, and Outlook. As I mentioned earlier, Publisher seems to use the fonts directly and doesn't have them listed as hidden fonts. Thank you again.